Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dilmer again and welcome back to my channel. So thank you very much for joining my channel. I really appreciate your time. I know a lot of you have a busy life and you're spending, some of your time by watching my videos. Thank you very much for that. And today I wanted to, talk about procrastination and if you're a person who, has been trying to work on a game, to work on an app, and I know all about it. I know that you might be starting out, you get super excited, you get the hype, and then all of a sudden that hype starts, slowly to deteriorate and you don't follow through. So I want to give you, a couple of tips and basically tell you my own experience, to actually inspire you to work, to work on some of your games and some of your apps. So that happened to me too. I get to modes where I'm working, I'm working really hard. I'm doing it every day, and then something happened and you lose motivation, and that's the thing that I really want to focus on and basically emphasize what some of the things that you can do to avoid that, because you can only go so far, and then if you lose motivation because you're not seeing results right away, that is actually gonna get you into that habit is gonna get into you, and I want you to make sure that you follow a routine, you are as consistent as you can, and to do that you gotta actually set up a schedule, and some of you might say, well, I know that I gotta do it tomorrow, I know that I gotta follow a schedule, I know I can have it in my mind, and it's not as easy to say, yeah, I know that I'm gonna do it, and when it comes to actually doing it, you might rather watch television or do something else that is actually not productive. So I fall into that trap as well. I'm not judging anybody. I just want you to, if you really want to focus on finishing your game or on working on your projects, we gotta follow a schedule, and you gotta make sure that you do that. So if it's today's Sunday and you are gonna work on from Monday all the way through Friday, and you're gonna work on a project. So what do you have to do to add to the schedule? It is simple. I mean, you gotta write down what time are you gonna be focusing on your project, what are you gonna be doing, what kind of tasks are you gonna be doing, and for how long. So for that, I normally use something like Trello. So you can go to Trello, basically create a project board, add different columns. You can keep it as simple as saying, okay, I'm gonna have a column of everything that I need to do for this project that I know as of now, and then another column is gonna be the things that you're moving from from your backlog, from things that you have to do to things that you actually have to start doing. So tomorrow morning you start working on your project, you're gonna grab one of those stories, one of those tasks, moving from your backlog to the in progress column. You're gonna do that every day. Every day that you're focusing on your project, you gotta make sure that we're gonna go, you gotta go to Trello, you're gonna move that card, that story, that task from the backlog to in progress. And the same thing goes with finishing one of those tasks. So if you're working on a task and it takes you 1 to 2 days, make sure that you go back to Trello or whatever project management tool you want to use, and then move it to done. That might seem very simple to do, and trust me, there's a lot of people who don't do that. A lot of people that don't follow that, that pattern and that routine and those habits. And I've seen a lot of people that, they're frustrated because they don't finish their projects, and it all comes down to, being organized, make sure that you're following through, make sure that, you're consistent with finishing those tasks, moving that story from the backlog to in progress, from in progress to done. So make sure that you don't procrastinate. So another thing that I noticed that happened to me as well, because I'm guilty as many of you are, is that I waited too long. So there were times when I was working on a project, I was super excited, and then I encountered a bug, and as soon as I encountered that bug, I thought it was gonna be super difficult to fix the bug. So I wasn't motivated because I knew I had that raw block. And what happened that was interesting is, like, a few days later, I told myself, okay, Dilmer, you're gonna be working on that bug, you're gonna fix that bug, and we're gonna move on. So it took me about 15 minutes to fix it, and then I move on, and then I realized that everything that I believe is in my mind. So you gotta get over that. You gotta look at be more objective on what you're working on. So by creating a project board, by following through, by finishing things on a regular basis, you're gonna build that into yourself. You're gonna build that into, you're gonna be in autopilot. And that's how I feel right now about everything that I'm doing. So if I'm working on a project, if it's an application, if it's a game, if it's a YouTube video, I try not to think too much about it. Try not to plan too much. And I'm being serious. Like, even for some of these videos, you might think that I have a teleprompt, or I have a detail of everything that I'm gonna be saying, and I don't have every detail of things that I'm gonna be saying. I try to know so much. So for instance, if I'm doing a video right now and I know a topic, before I start working on it, I know what things I'm gonna be mentioning, but I don't go into too much detail. And the same thing goes into working on a project. Don't think too much about it. Don't try to detail every single thing about it, because it's gonna be really hard for you to get motivated, because you're gonna get overwhelmed. So instead of doing that, think about a project idea that you want to implement. Think about some of the high-level tasks that have to be completed in order to finish that project, and then work on those tasks, one day at a time. It's gonna take time, but it's interesting, like the time goes really fast. So it might be that it takes you 2 to 3 months, or it might be that it takes you 6 months. Well, 6 months from today, if you don't start on your project, you're not gonna have a project done. But if you start on a project right now and you're working on it, a little bit at a time, it's gonna be amazing when you get to that 6 month mark. You look back and you say, wow, I actually, I was able to follow through. I was able to finish that project, and that on itself is very remarkable, because not everybody's able to follow through on their projects. And that's what I want to teach everybody, teach people that are going through these phases where I know that it's hard. I actually experience it myself, and I know how difficult it can be. But if we work on small tasks and one after another, it's gonna get much easier. And also build it into your routine, like I was mentioning. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If you guys have any questions about anything that I mentioned, let me know. Let me know through the comments, or contact me in social media. I'm always available in Twitter. Thank you, guys.